Velina mai kako, welcome to Keep It Aloha, a podcast that keeps aloha by being the living proof that Asian indeed does not raisin. I'm your host Kamaka, and fortunately, I am part Asian, and I don't plan to raisin anytime soon. But once you see our guest today, you will see what I am talking about. But before we introduce her, guess what time it is? It's time for another Hawaii Theater giveaway. Every other week, we give away 2 tickets to the Hawaii Theater, and all you have to do is listen to this episode today when it comes out on Thursday, and head over to our Instagram and answer trivia on our live stream on Friday for your chance to win 2 tickets to any Hawaii Theater show. They got tons of great shows coming up, so head to their website, hawaiitheater.com, to check them out. All right, let's introduce our guests for our first episode in Las Vegas. This special Keep It Aloha on the Road episode is brought to you by Huaka'i by Hawaiian. Huaka'i by Hawaiian is Hawaiian Airlines' free travel perks program designed exclusively for Kama'aina. When you sign up for Huaka'i, you get a free check bag on every neighbor island flight, quarterly discounts between the islands, and monthly network deals to the continental U.S. destinations and beyond. I can't give away too many details yet, but the April network deal is one you won't want to miss. So be sure to sign up to get your unique discount code delivered to your email when the deal drops. Join Huaka'i by Hawaiian for free today at hawaiianairlines.com/Huaka'i. Enjoy the episode. Our guest today is an international platinum-selling recording artist from the island of Oahu. She first rose to fame as a top 3 finalist on season 3 of the hit TV show American Idol. With her signature trademark Hawaiian plumeria in her hair, she stole the hearts of the nation and beyond, going on to become an international superstar with Universal Records, and was named R&B Artist of the Year at the Philippine Music Awards. She also is the first ever Las Vegas headliner from American Idol and continues to perform live on tour to sell out audiences around the world. Not only does she have her own day on May 13th in Hawaii, but she has also worked with some of the most recognizable brands in the world, such as Coca Cola, Ford, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, and McDonald's. After 20 plus years since American Idol, she is currently back in the studio recording new music, looking exactly the same as she did back in 2004. And I am so stoked to talk stories with her today. Her name is Jasmine Trias. Aloha, Jasmine. Welcome to the Keep It Low podcast. How are you doing?
Aloha. Thank you so much for having me. What an amazing intro. Thank you.
Thank you for doing all of those things. You just made it easy. All I had to do is read it. You had to do all those things. My job was easy.
Thanks to my PR team.
Yes. You have a great PR team. Happy birthday to your PR team right over there. Yes. But I don't. Do you want to sing "Happy Birthday" real quick on the? Oh no, he's going like this because it's somebody's special birthday today.
He was hoping to let it fly by under the radar.
So let's do the total opposite and make it like least under the radar.
It's gonna be out there.
Yes.
On the internet waves.
Yes, a little quick happy birthday. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Benji.
Her love of her life.
Happy birthday to you. I love you.
I started off and I was like, why am I singing? She's so much.
I thought you were going to harmonize with me.
No, after hearing you, I was like, it's all you. It's all you, Jasmine.
Oh, you sounded pretty good. I was hoping you would continue.
No, but I'm super stoked that we're here. Mahalo to Hawaiian Airlines for getting us here. And shout out to Lincoln. He's sitting over here with 6 pillars for helping us pull all this together. And of course, our videographer, Jordan, currently taking pictures right now. But I'm super stoked to get to know your whole life story. I mean, basically everyone that was born before maybe like 2004 probably knows the name Jasmine Trias. And I remember, being in maybe like middle school and watching American Idol with my family. I remember watching the first couple seasons, and then, third season, we got 2 girls from Hawaii. And then, how we are in Hawaii with athletes, with musicians, with anybody doing something on a bigger stage, we get behind them like that's our ohana.
Exactly.
So I remember it was such a fun time. So I would just love to hear how it all came to be. But I always like to start at the beginning. Where are you from? Where you grad? And what was it like growing up?
Okay, where I'm from? Well, I'm from Mililani, Hawaii. And where I graduated from Marino High School. And what was it like growing up in Hawaii? Wow. Well, I would say, grew up very typical Hawaii style family. I'm Filipino and, always had big get togethers, potluck style. There was always a lot of music in my family, karaoke parties. I think that's kind of typical with every Hawaii family.
I think mainly the Filipino family.
Okay, mainly the Filipino
that's
family.
the
Okay,
pastime. That's the national pastime.
right. That's true. So yeah, and I had pretty good childhood memories growing up. Went to the beach a lot. Let's see what else. I was the oldest.
Out of how many?
There's three of us.
Okay.
So I have a brother and a sister. My brother's 2 years younger than me, and my sister came later, 10 years after me. But yeah, so for a while it was just my brother and I. But yeah, being the oldest, I think I had very high expectations set of me. So yeah, but other than that, I think I had a pretty good childhood growing up. Yeah, went to private school, Marino, and yeah.
What kind of things were you into? I mean, was it music since you were, born? You came out singing or harmonizing with
Yeah, honestly,
everybody?
yeah. As far as I could remember, I've always kind of had a love for singing. There's a video of me singing Tomorrow from Annie. That was my favorite movie growing up. I'd watch it on repeat. So yeah, as far as as I can remember, I just love singing. And then obviously growing up in a Filipino household, you're just surrounded by that. And my mom also loved to listen to Filipino songs, original Filipino music. And of course, just Hawaii songs on the radio. I would always try to enter into singing competitions.
Brown bag and stuff
Brown
like that.
bags, Road to Fame. I think there was a talent show at the Mililani Town Center that I entered in and I won. So that was kind of cool. I think that was the first contest that I entered into, and that's when I think I got my first, I felt validated, oh my gosh, I won, I could actually do this, And then of course, singing at family parties, every single family birthday, graduation, you name it. I was the entertainment.
Nice. Were you carrying all the happy birthdays over the
Pretty
year?
much, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
were you into anything else, or was just music? Did you do any sports or any other hobbies?
I tried doing sports, but that definitely was not my strong suit. Early on, I kind of realized that. My brother was more the athletic one. He was into baseball and stuff. But I was into basketball in grade school. I went to OLS. Our Lady of Stars was a private school in Wahua. I don't think it's there anymore. But we weren't a fancy team or anything like that. But I didn't do very well on the team. I think I shot a point for the other team. I went the wrong way.
Well, you can't have it all. You got one very crucial Filipino trait.
Yes.
You just didn't get the basketball one.
No.
But the singing one, you stuck with it. So that's good.
So that one worked out. I'm happy about that.
Awesome. So after you graduated, what ended up happening?
So yeah, graduation actually kind of happened around the same time Idol happened. So
yeah, because you were 16.
I was 16.
17?
Yeah, I was 16 at the time. So I auditioned for American Idol. As you said, it was a big deal at the time. Season 1, season 2, watched it. It was a big event, just watching American Idol at the time. And I was such a big fan of the show. And so when season 3 came around and they announced that American Idol was going to do auditions, obviously it was a big deal in Hawaii, right? The whole island audition.
Yeah.
So I was oh my gosh, this is an amazing opportunity. I have to try at least, So auditioned, and it was the first audition. There's actually 2 auditions before you get to audition in front of the judges.
Oh, okay.
So the first one is what they call a cattle call, and that was held at the Aloha Stadium. So that's where you get thousands and thousands of people showing up, and there's like tents, rows of tents on the stadium, in the stadium, and then people line up in front of each tent, and it's super fast. You get like 10, 15 seconds in front of the producers, and you go right or left. Right is yes, left is no. So you get 10 seconds. They may or may not cut you off, and then they just say go that way or go that way. So it's like super fast because they have to get through like so many people.
It was like the old school dating apps. They're
basically
just like,
it's like old school Tinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I was happy to make it through that first round, and then the second round was in front of the executive producers. So auditioned for the executive producers and made it through. And then I made it to Paula, Simon, and Randy. And that's kind of how it all happened. Yeah, it's still crazy for me to like think back at all of this again. Like it still feels so surreal. Like it was all a dream. Like it's a distant memory, and it feels like an out of body experience almost. Like I can't connect that person to me in a weird way.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No,
but
totally.
Like because it just all happened so fast.
And you were so young.
And I was so young.
Yeah.
And at that time, I think like I didn't really know how to like put into words everything that I was going through as well. So it just all kind of, it's like I compartmentalized it in my brain somewhere, and so like just recently I've been able to kind of tap into that just a little bit to kind of, or like doing these types of interviews, I'm able to kind of tap into that again.
I'm sure like, was it a year and a half ago or something when Iam Tongi was on, that a lot of memories probably came back because you did tons of interviews, right? Because they're asking you, what are your thoughts about this?
Exactly.
You're the last person from Hawaii to make it to the top 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it all just kind of comes rushing back, and it's kind of, I guess, therapeutic to kind of go back there and actually kind of assess and get perspective on all of it and how my life is now from that point on. So yeah, so it was just kind of crazy. Like made the audition, and then Hollywood week after that. I remember that was a pretty brutal week because they kept us up late nights, and they would give us an assignment to do group numbers and stuff. And I remember being in a group, and I was with Diana DeGarmo. She was in my group, and then there were two other people, and we were trying to do choreography and trying to get the harmonies right. And I remember we stayed up late till like 5 or 6 in the morning, and we had to wake up super early for our call time, and then that was obviously the audition. And I remember I forgot the lyrics when I was on stage. I was like, oh my God, because I was, lack of sleep and just the stress of it all. But yeah, I remember I forgot my lyrics, and I just froze on stage. I completely froze. I didn't even sing anything. I was dancing, and I was like, okay. I just hope, the previous auditions would help me get through. So yeah, I think I just made it through. And then, yeah, after that, it was basically the top 12. Wait, no, I think there was one more before that. It was the top 32.
Top 32.
There
was a lot of episodes.
There was a lot of episodes.
Yeah, because I remember looking at IMDb, and it said you were in 23 episodes.
Was I?
Yeah,
oh my gosh,
I
didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, wow, that's pretty cool.
Too bad you didn't do the Iam Tongi technique where he just wrote the lyrics on top of his guitar.
Oh,
Did you ever see
yeah.
that?
Oh my gosh, that's clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to learn how to play guitar just for
Do you
that
play
reason.
any instruments?
I can play the ukulele.
Okay.
I can play the guitar a little bit, but it's hard because I like to have nails.
Oh, yeah.
And on the left hand, it's kind of hard to press down.
I guess
right hand, it's good.
Yeah. When you have a great voice like you don't really need to play an instrument, I guess.
I do enjoy playing that. But But the instrument that I probably am better at is the piano.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Nice.
started playing piano early on as well, classically. So I can play the piano. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But you never did any of that on American Idol, right? You were just
No. So
did they allow people to play instruments back
I
then?
was just about to say,
Yeah.
during that time, I don't think they introduced, instruments for people to play. I don't think anyone played on my season on the show. I don't think they allowed that at the time. Yeah.
Okay. And so going through this American Idol journey, you also had a friend from Hawaii. I mean, I guess it wasn't a friend starting off, but because you're from Hawaii, and we know, especially here in Vegas, when you see somebody with some Hawaii shirt, you hear some pigeon, you hear a how's it or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. You have this automatic connection, right? Like,
Totally.
where like we see each other. It's like what is that movie Avatar, where you're
Right.
like connected and you're like, I see you. It's
Right.
kind of like that, right? So was that like was it like that when you met Camille?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. And, being the only two girls at the time to represent Hawaii on the show, it was something special that we shared that, we had this like understanding. I feel like people have that being from Hawaii. We kind of share this like deeper understanding of, I would say, aloha. We kind of have that connection. And so it was amazing to have another person from Hawaii there with me, because it kind of helped like make it feel more like home, and that, I wasn't alone.
Yeah.
It was nice to have my family there too, but to have her going through the same thing I was going through, that was really nice.
Okay.
So
So your family got to be with you the whole time? Or was
pretty
that
much
they needed to be with you because you were underage?
both. So
Okay.
because yes, I was underage. So being 16, you have to have a parent with you. So my dad was actually with me. I think Camille, she was 18 already, so I don't think she needed a parent there. But yeah, my dad was with me, and then also I had my family, my mom, my brother, my sister, fly in for a few shows. They weren't there like all the time, but just for whenever
To
they
bring
could
you your
make
homework
it.
back from Marino, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, oh,
That's
great song, hon. Now here's your
now
homework.
you got to do your
Here's your
homework.
English homework.
Exactly. And that was the thing on the show as well, because we were minors. It was me, Diana DeGarmo, and I think John Stevens. Oh, and Leah LaBelle. There were 4 minors on my season, and it's California law, I guess, that you have to complete like schoolwork for at least 3 or 4 hours a day. So on top of all the idol stuff that we were doing, we also had to bank in 3-4 hours a day of schoolwork. So I did have like my teachers send me all my homework, and had to do that with the tutor. So that was kind of not so great.
Yeah, I bet.
Because I wanted to focus on like, doing the idol stuff. So, but it was still pretty cool that I got to do all the idol stuff every week, and like, yeah, and do all that as well.
So you made it to the top 3, and usually when people make it that far, they send the contestants home, just like they did with Iam not too long ago.
Right.
So what was that like? I mean, we see in the videos. I mean, you got your own day in Hawaii. I mean, what was the reception like back then? Because there wasn't social media.
Right.
So basically, everybody just watched TV.
Right,
So
exactly.
everybody saw you.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I honestly, like, that is such a memorable moment for me, my top 3 homecoming, because when you're on the show, they kind of keep you in a bubble. You have no idea like what is going on outside of the show, because you're in it like week after week, and you have no idea how you're being received outside of the show. And so, I mean, I kind of heard from my family like, oh my gosh, it's like such a big deal in Hawaii. Like, people are having like viewing parties and voting parties, and there's like no traffic when the show's on because everyone's like watching it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Like, but then when when we went home for top 3, that was the first time I went home since the live shows from top 12. So yeah, since I hadn't been home, I just had no idea what to expect. And so plane landed, walking onto the jet bridge into the airport, and I just remember just lights and cameras and people were screaming. And I was like, oh my God, what is going on? What is this? It was insane. I couldn't believe it. I honestly couldn't believe it. It was so surreal. I was like, holy cow, this is crazy. And it was just like a whirlwind ride. Like I was just trying to take everything in. But I know the American Idol producers like packed the schedule in because I only had X amount of time before I had to fly back to LA to do the live shows again. But it was amazing just to be back home again after so long and just feel all of the love and support from Hawaii. It still gets me emotional because it's like, it meant so much to me and I had no idea. I had no idea. Like it was, and then to go to the governor's mansion or the Capitol building, and he said it was Jasmine Trias Day. I was like, I didn't even know you could have a day. Like, what does this even mean? Like, so I was just, I was so grateful and so emotional, and then after the governor's thing, then went to my high school and they totally showed up. They were screaming and it was just so amazing just to see everyone make their signs and like, cheering me on. It was so amazing. And then after that, I think they set up like a thing in Waikiki where I got to, say hi to, fans of the show. And that was pretty cool too. So many people turned up and, wishing me well and like, saying we support you, Hawaii's got your back. And so, yeah, that was a really, really special memory for me. It still gets me emotional to this day
Super
because
cool.
in my wildest dreams, I never thought this was possible.
Just a local girl from Mililani, right?
Exactly.
Going to Marino, small school.
Had no idea. Like, you have dreams as a kid, like, I would love to be a singer one day. But being just like island girl, born and raised in Hawaii, it's like, you didn't think it was possible. Like, it's not going to happen. And at that time, there wasn't a lot of representation out there for people from Hawaii, for people that look like me. So I didn't even think it was a possibility. And so when obviously American Idol came to Hawaii, I was like, oh, this might be like a really cool thing. Maybe, you should try it out. And then just one thing after another. And then, this happens. And it's still so crazy for me to believe that it happened.
Yeah. And it's so cool because you became the representation, how many girls, or not even girls, boys and girls, seeing you and even Camille go that far and then have careers after. And like what American Idol is still going on, 20 plus years later, right?
Exactly.
So I think it was just so inspiring. And now we have all kinds of shows from, The Voice to America's Got Talent. And then we see people from Hawaii on these other shows. And again, American Idol, and you paved the way for everybody. So I think that's why we still love Jasmine Trias. The name still it holds a lot of weight in Hawaii. Because you are like the OG.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we got a letter delivery here.
Oh my gosh. It means so much to me, and at that time, I didn't realize it at that time. That, how much representation mattered. I didn't realize that I was carrying the Hawaii flag. I was carrying the Filipino flag, representing the Asian community. I didn't really realize it until afterwards, until people came up to me and said how much my American Idol journey meant to them because they finally felt seen. Because they said, oh my God, you look like me. Like that just, it gets me every time. Oh my gosh, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
This whole podcast, I'm just going to be in tears.
That's fine.
But
hopefully the AC dries it up.
Yeah, exactly. But it means so much to me. I feel more today than it did back then because like I'm older now and I can kind of see what that meant. And to just have been a small part of that to kind of pave the way. It's something I'll never take for granted. It's something I'll always be humbled by. And that's why I want to continue to do what I do as well, because, representation matters. Now, as you say, you see more people from Hawaii, Asia, people from the Asian community out there represented now. Like so many shows. I mean, Squid Games, Shogun, you just see them pop up everywhere now, and it's part of mainstream. And at that time, when I was on the show, there weren't many. And so I feel like when there are so many different cultures represented on the mainstream stage, I think it brings more people together. We see the diversity, and we're able to embrace the diversity and be more tolerant of one another. And I think it just makes the world a better place. You know?
Yeah. I think it doesn't necessarily make the world seem smaller, but it makes it seem closer.
Right.
Like these things aren't as or it's more reachable now than it ever was, because I see somebody that looks like me, and
Right.
people like me can do big things. And that's what we're trying to do with Keep It Aloha on the road, is go to all these different places where we have other locals, Hawaiians, Pacific Islanders, other people in the Asian community out here in in the continent or outside of Hawaii, outside of the
Right.
United States, doing really cool things. And I think
Yes.
people got to see more of that.
Absolutely. And it just shows people that, hey, there is opportunity for you. You can do what you want to do. It's totally possible now. And I think now more than ever, with the way the landscape is with social media and technology, the beautiful thing about that is I don't think there are as many gatekeepers anymore. People can really go after their passion and make it happen. So for me as a singer back then, I thought I think the clear pathway was you had to sign to a record label, and that was how you would be able to pursue that. But nowadays, you could release music independently, and you could totally make a name for yourself without a label.
Yeah.
And that just goes for other industries as well. Like you could create your own TV show if you wanted. I mean, podcasting.
Exactly, yeah.
It's the opportunities are endless now in the world of social media that we live in. But also, it's challenging as well because there's a lot more legwork that you have to do, for that. You have to become basically your own production team, right?
Yeah.
So,
but it's worth it in the end.
Totally, yeah.
Awesome. So you finish up as a top 3 finalist on American Idol. And when that show ended, what was it like? Did you immediately get signed, or did you have to put a little bit more work in before you were signed with Universal? Or is there some sort of deal where top 3 contestants automatically get signed under contract or something?
So no, on my season, I think the winner got signed. I didn't get signed until way later. I got signed to an independent label after Idol. But immediately after Idol, I went on tour, and then the Philippines kind of came knocking. And so that's where I did endorsement deals with Smart Communications. It's like the AT&T of the Philippines. And I had a clothing line with Bench Clothing, and I did a Happy toothpaste endorsement as well. And then McDonald's was actually a big one that I did in the Philippines. And that was, I would say, probably a highlight for me because I didn't have an album at that time, but I was able to record the original McDonald's jingle, which is known around the world now. It's the ba ba da ba ba, I'm loving it. But in the Philippines, it was ba ba da ba ba, love ko to. So that's the jingle that I made in the Philippines. So that was, I would say, the first song that I recorded after American Idol. I didn't have a record label, but they wanted me to record this original song as part of the endorsement campaign. So they named a meal after me called the Jasmine Trio, and then which was French fries, a strawberry milkshake, and then you could get my Love Koto single on there. So that was really cool. And then after that, I also got to record some original Filipino music, but that didn't come until after I recorded my album. So I got signed with an independent label in the U.S. and they packaged me more of like a very R&B
Yeah, because you got
artist.
R&B album or singer of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, singer of the year.
So yeah, it was very R&B. I worked with some amazing producers, but I felt at that time, I was so young. I was just taking direction from everyone that was with me at the time because I didn't know better. I was just kind of riding this wave, and just kind of going with it. And so recorded the album, and then Universal Records picked it up, and then they wanted me to record a few more songs for the Asia release. So I did, I think it was 3 or 4 original Filipino music songs. That was pretty cool because I got to sing in Tagalog.
Yeah.
And
I saw some of them. I was watching some on YouTube earlier.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And, growing up in a Filipino household, my mom would listen to all these Filipino artists. And so it kind of rubbed off on me a little bit. And so to be in the Philippines, and she was with me as well, my whole family was with me. She got to meet like some of her idols growing up.
Oh, so cool.
So, and I got to like work with them as well. So that was really cool.
You get the golden child badge then.
I suppose so. So yeah, that was really cool. I got to work with some of her like favorite artists, and I got to record my own like original Filipino music. So that was pretty special. So yeah, that was my Asia release.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And so going back to your family, so you guys all grew up speaking Tagalog?
So growing up, my mom didn't want to teach us Tagalog because she thought that we would get teased in
So
school.
it was the classic story we hear all the time.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
so she wanted us to assimilate,
Yeah.
and which was fine. So I didn't actually learn how to speak Tagalog until I went to the Philippines.
Oh, okay.
I really wanted to learn the language. And so I told everyone at the time working with me in the Philippines, don't talk to me in English. I want to learn Tagalog, speak to me in Tagalog. And so, I mean, it's Taglish now.
Yeah.
but yeah, I didn't learn how to speak until after. And I told my mom too, I was like, why didn't you teach me when I was younger? And she's like, well, I didn't want you to get teased at school if you had like a weird accent or, so that's why.
Yeah, we hear that story all the time.
Yeah.
But English is everywhere. So, regardless if you don't speak English. I mean, Hawaiian is my first language.
Oh, wow.
We grew up speaking Hawaiian, and, I speak English perfectly fine, I think, sometimes.
Right. I think.
Yeah, so that's cool that you had that. So how many years were you in the Philippines?
Oh, gosh. So I think I went to the Philippines from 2004, and then I was just going back and forth to the Philippines for, gosh, like 7 years, something like that. Yeah, it was quite some time.
And
I
you
was
went platinum over there, right?
Yeah,
Crazy.
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I still can't believe how my life has panned out. Like, what a cool, crazy journey it has been. And honestly, I still feel like I'm just getting started.
Yeah.
Like, because that was like, I was so young at that time, and I was still trying to figure myself out too. And now that I'm older, I'm like, okay, I think I have a better handle of things now. And I feel like, I'm in control. I'm in the driver's seat, and now I feel like I'm more like, I feel like I've come into my own a bit more and can kind of really pursue what I want instead of the things that I was kind of being told to do at the time,
Yeah. That must be really empowering.
Totally empowering.
Yeah.
And that's what excites me, like right now, like just the prospects of so many different things that, I could kind of accomplish, I guess.
Yeah. Are you able to go back on American Idol? Is there like a rule where you can't go back on like other TV shows maybe?
Oh, you mean like as a contestant?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think it's kind of like an unspoken thing. Like,
okay.
like once you make it, I don't think like you. I mean, I think maybe like on a different show, but I don't know if I'd do that.
You want to go through that again? Maybe you two can go together as a duo.
Maybe as like a duo.
That would be cool.
Yeah, maybe we could do that. Oh, yeah, roll the dice again. Honestly, I feel like
we're in Vegas.
Yeah, that's true. But honestly, I feel like that the way it all happened, I think I'm happy with how it all panned out. I don't know if I could put myself through that again. That was quite an an experience. It almost like there was probably a little bit of trauma there. You know what
You're
I
still
mean?
unpacking it
Yeah,
to this
yeah.
day.
Honestly, like I probably am still unpacking it in certain ways, but I think I've got a better hold of it now, to be honest. And it wasn't until things slowed down during the pandemic where everything stopped, where like you
Finally
actually
a
had time
breathe.
to breathe and kind of think back on your life and reflect. And thankfully, my husband was there as like a soundboard for me to kind of talk things through, because I don't think I really talked about it in its entirety, like in interviews and like, you know, short form stuff touching on it, but not really in depth. And, you know, with my family, you know, being first generation for me, like it's hard to talk to your family like about emotional things sometimes. And so even though they were there supporting me, I think emotionally it was hard to kind of connect in that way. So I don't think I was able to kind of get it off my chest. And so when the pandemic hit and I got to actually look back at what I did, I was able to unpack a lot there and kind of come to terms with certain things and emotionally just kind of get it out there. Because I think it was just like buried very, very, very deep down there, you know?
And your life was probably moving so fast that you just, like you said, never had a chance to breathe.
Yeah, exactly. It was just go, 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 go. And you're not even looking back and thinking about what you just did. You're just like looking forward. And so this was a time where I actually was able to look at what I did and appreciate it, fully appreciate it, and like be like, oh my God, that is so cool. How amazing. Because I never really like thought anything of it. Like, but you know, my husband was like, you've done so much. You need to like realize this. Like, you know, and so it was amazing to actually like really see it clearly for the first time. And I'm in a totally like better place now because of that. And I totally have a better handle of all that. So which is nice.
And you got a good support system too.
Absolutely. That
really
totally
important.
helps.
Yeah.
Totally helps.
Yeah. So speaking about that, how did you end up in Vegas and how did you end up meeting your husband?
Yeah. So, after the Philippines, Vegas kind of came calling. And then I was able to get my own residency show here. So that was pretty cool because even, you know, as a kid, I came to Vegas actually at Circus was one of the first casinos that I went to. But yeah, so Vegas came calling and I was able to do a bunch of residency shows here. And honestly, Vegas is where I kind of cut my teeth vocally. Like I was able to that's where I got my 10,000 hours of singing in, because it's brutal when you have to do 6-7 shows a week, sometimes 2 in a night. That's where I really had to learn about my vocal health. And honestly, I feel like I didn't really learn how to sing until after American Idol. That's where I really had to learn how to take care of my voice and do vocal warm-ups properly and how to make sure you stay hydrated, and you have to pace yourself. You don't want to blow your voice out on the first show of the week because you won't be able to last through the whole week. So I had to learn a lot about that. And as a result of that, you know, I got stronger as a singer and I feel more confident as a singer because I know what I have to do now. And on American Idol, I was just raw. I was just like singing because I like to sing. I had no idea that you had to take care of your voice in a certain way, or you had to do vocal exercises in a certain way to protect your voice and all of that. So it was definitely where I learned a lot about my singing ability and my voice and vocal health and everything. And so, that was a really cool experience. I got to perform at pretty cool casinos. Flamingo was where I started, and that's still one of the OGs on the Strip, the original Vegas hotels on the Strip. And I'm happy I also got to do the Riviera, which is now, it was like an old classic Vegas hotel. Unfortunately, it's not there anymore. They imploded it.
No.
You know, out with the old and with the new with Vegas. And then Venetian as well. my husband and I did a show there, a big Christmas production show there as well recently. So that was cool. Vegas has been good to me. We've been here over 10 years, and yeah, we absolutely love it here.
Yeah. So when you say we, who's this
Oh,
we
sorry.
that you're talking
We,
about?
yeah.
A
I
little
should say.
birthday boy. Let's get to know him.
Yes, my husband. His name is Ben, and we met in Las Vegas. So he is a performer and singer in his own right as well. And I was doing shows here, and he had a show the week after mine at the same hotel. And he came in a week early from England. He's from England. And he happened to watch my show. And we met afterwards and kind of kept in touch. And then I went to watch his show after as well. And so, yeah, we just kind of really connected. And I never thought I would really connect with someone in the industry because, people can be so jaded in the industry too. But I think with our backgrounds, we really connected because we kind of do the same thing, and we could totally just really connect on that and find some common ground there. And so that was a really special thing because I never really connected with anyone like that and be able to talk to them about stuff I was going through in the industry, So that was amazing. And we've been together ever since. Been together for, since 2009.
Wow.
So I mean, how many years is that?
16,
I lost count already. 16 years.
Yeah.
So we've been together for a long time, but he's been like a huge support system for me, because I can just talk to him about anything and everything, what I'm going through, and he totally gets it. And I think it's important for, for people to have that, to be able to talk to someone about, how you're feeling and, be able for them to listen to you and relate. So
nice. What was his pickup line? He's just like, "Sup, baby girl? Let me put your pool on the other side of your ear." Did you know about that? The pool?
The flower?
That's
right.
What it means.
Okay. So technically I still have it in this ear, right?
Yeah. But that's just the classic look. That's
exactly.
Why, right?
I'm so glad you get it. And he totally gets it as well. Because my hair just happens to part here. I cannot change the way my hair parts. I would look like a totally different person. So
that's a business move.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, you get it. You get it.
I get it.
And he gets it as well, which is why I love him. Exactly. He totally gets it. Because I did it one time. I'm like, honey, do you want me to put my flower over here? He's like, just okay. You can keep it.
He said, nah, let me just get you a rock.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was all good. Honestly, it just happened organically. It really just, we were really just friends first. We would just talk, and I remember we would talk for hours and hours on the phone. He was in England at the time, and I was in Hawaii, so that was long distance. It was I remember, I think it was a 12-hour time difference. So when I was waking up, he was about to go to bed. It was crazy. Yeah. So we decided, I don't think this is going to work. Let's maybe we should make Vegas our home base. So
so you met in the middle, kind of.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, he probably had to travel a little bit. Which is always the way anyway. Right?
It was that or what, Minnesota or something.
Yeah. No thanks. No hard feelings to Minnesota or anything. But sorry. I love Minnesota.
I just knew it's kind of central. That's why I said it.
No, it's probably about right. But Vegas kind of worked for us. And so we kind of made it work pretty fast. And then, we've been here ever since, really. Okay.
Is that the story you remember, Ben? Because usually when you ask people, they have sometimes a little bit different recollection. Every time you ask me versus my girlfriend how you met, it's sometimes she leaves some stuff out or says it differently. And especially when you're with people, you're like, oh, I forgot this. Oh, I needed it. And you're also adding these other things.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there anything I'm missing?
That's pretty good.
I think I pretty much got it.
A little dispute over who was cleaner.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Who made
okay.
the first move?
I think there's two sides to this one.
Well, we'll get the full story at dinner after this.
Off camera.
Yeah. Right on. Okay. So what are some tips for, staying together for 16 years?
Oh gosh. Honestly, I think we have really good communication. I think that's really important. Just talking things through, because you don't want to hold things in and like build any resentments. So I think it's important that we communicate things through, and we're so comfortable with each other that we are not afraid to just be ourselves wholeheartedly and not be afraid of the other person judging us. So it's a very safe space with us, and I think it's, you know, communication, I think, is key. Respect for one another, and just, you know, choosing to love each other every day. You know, I know that sounds so like cliche, but like, you know, I think that's what love is, when you actually have to be aware of it and think about the other person. It's not just about you. You are actually thinking about the other person and how you can care for the other person. And I think that's really helped us too. And and we're honestly, he's like my best friend. Like we talk through everything together, and it's a beautiful thing. So I think we have a really strong foundation with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's lovely to see the two of you work, especially in just setting up the podcast. He's helping you out. You're asking him. He's asking you. So it's really cool.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, honestly, I think we make a great team, and and I'm really excited for the things that we've kind of got lined up. We've been talking through so many cool ideas, but yeah, honestly, I feel like we're like this, like. You cannot separate us. Like we are like joined at the hip
That's
now.
awesome.
Like we are.
That's awesome. We
like
love
it's
that.
it's rare that you'll see us separately. Like we're like this. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Okay, so before we take a quick shishi break, because my shishi meter is going up from the drinks. I just want to know what's life like in Vegas. You know, being away for 10 plus years. You said?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we've been here since 2009, pretty much. Like back and
okay.
forth.
So
Yeah.
I guess about 16 years.
Yeah, we've been here for over 10 years. You know, we love Vegas, and we've definitely seen it grow so much since we've been here. And especially within the last few years, it's just like boomed and grown exponentially. Ever since the sports team kind of came here, it blew up. Like it was the Golden Knights team, the hockey team. That's kind of what paved the way for the other sports teams that are coming in now. And, you know, Vegas is just like going crazy at the moment, like with restaurants, with obviously the sports going on. There's so many concerts coming through Vegas,
and
so
then
many
the
shows.
Sphere.
The Sphere now,
Yeah.
so
Right over my
cool.
left shoulder, if you guys can see that.
Yeah. So, and you know what else we love about Vegas is the Hawaii community. I mean, Vegas is called the Ninth Island, and I feel like I couldn't have picked a better place to be, you know, on the mainland. And I think Vegas has one of the largest Hawaii communities outside
I
of
wouldn't
Hawaii.
be surprised.
Yeah, and I think especially after the pandemic too, there was like a huge like influx of people from Hawaii moving to Vegas, and so you see loads of Hawaii restaurants opening up, and like even when we go to Costco, I feel like I'm in Hawaii because a lot of the staff are from Hawaii.
Oh, really? That's funny.
They're like, "Hey, how's it?" They're like, "Hey."
Do you get recognized a lot here?
I do, like,
Yeah.
I do a little bit, especially like, you know, with Hawaii community or like the Filipino community or like Asians and stuff. So, but yeah, the Costco that we go to, there's like loads of people from Hawaii there. But yeah, there's like loads of people from Hawaii in Vegas now. And so it definitely feels more like home, which is really nice. So yeah, we really love living in Las Vegas, and we love like the food scene here. We're like into that whole thing. Like I feel like we're kind of like foodies.
Yeah, nice.
We love trying new restaurants and
I feel like it's overwhelming. I mean, this is only my second time to Vegas as an adult.
Oh, okay.
And the last time I was with my family, and so I'm just following them.
Yeah.
Now we have a little bit more freedom. So luckily we have Lincoln. He's just like telling us where to go.
Right.
He's asking, where do you want to go? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's like so many places, even driving, like, so you know, the hotels. I'm like, how do you even know where to stay?
Exactly. Honestly, like even as locals, we can't keep up anymore. Like
Yeah.
before you could, when we first moved out here, it was a bit more slow paced, but now it's like there's just so many things, so many restaurants, so many things you can do in Vegas. Like I feel like living here, we would not be able to hit every single restaurant if we wanted to, because there's always new ones popping up as well.
I guess that's good. It keeps it fresh.
Oh yeah, totally. And that's also one of the reasons why we love Vegas. It just feels so new. And then also so many people come to visit you as well, because people love Vegas, especially people from Hawaii. They love to gamble.
Yeah.
And
Make
then
sure you go on Hawaiian Airlines.
right, exactly. And then Ben's friends from England as well love
Yeah.
Vegas, so a lot of his friends that he hasn't seen for a long time have come to visit him. And, so that kind of saves us going there.
Totally. Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people, it's a great destination city for people to just kind of come and see you. And so we've kept in touch with a lot of friends and family because of that. So yeah, it's a great place. We love
Super
it.
cool. I know Hawaii. I don't know if this is public information here, but
Oh.
I know Hawaiian Airlines working on the new Huaka'i program with a special deal to Vegas. I think it's released in April, so it's a couple weeks from this podcast episode. So if it's public, you heard it from me. If it's not, you didn't hear it from me on this podcast.
Okay. So wait, what is it?
So the Huaka'i program by Hawaiian is like a kama'aina discount for like Hawaii residents. So like for people going inter-island, it's just inter-island right now. You get like a free tech bag, you get monthly discounts.
Oh wow!
Or quarterly discounts, monthly deals.
Oh cool.
So they're trying to expand it to other places. So
I see. So
I think they're gonna do one specifically for Vegas because of
that totally makes sense. They have to do it.
Like
I think I did see that when we were traveling in Hawaii this past Christmas.
It just started this year.
I see. That's clever. They should totally do that.
And it's cool that we got like a kama'aina discount.
Of course.
So it makes it easier for us.
Yes, absolutely. Gotta love that kama'aina discount.
Totally. Do they have stuff like that here in Vegas?
I wish they did more of that.
Yeah.
I feel like with the locals, we used to have free parking here in Vegas, like free valet and free parking at all the casinos. But I think it was after the pandemic that they started charging for parking now, and there's all those resort fees that I think some locals are kind of annoyed about.
Okay, so it sounds like
we gotta
Hawaii
pay
too,
for parking now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When it used to be free, even valet was free. You just had to tip, But now with Vegas being like the destination city that it is, it's trying to compete on that level, which makes sense. But as a local, like a lot of locals are like, I don't want to go down to the strip because I got to pay $50 for parking.
That's just like us not wanting to go to Waikiki because we
Yeah.
have fine parking.
Like if there's an event, like if there's a big concert going on at Allegiant Stadium or like any concert for that matter, if you go into the self-parking lot, it's not your usual parking rate. It's event parking, like $50 flat rate no matter what.
Crazy.
So you never know what you're going to get on the strip. That's the only thing. But I feel like they should do something for locals where it's like, free parking for locals during event parking, but it's not. If it's not event parking, then I think locals get like 3 hours for free.
Yeah, or something, half off or something, right?
Yeah, but unfortunately, they don't do like a kama'aina.
Oh, okay, well, maybe one day.
One day.
Maybe
I
after
should
they
start
see this,
that
they see this podcast, they'll be like, we need a local discount.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, right on. Let's take a quick shishi break and we'll be right back.
Kalea Hop Water is a sparkling, hop-infused beverage with bright, tropical flavors and the refreshing essence of island life, with 0 alcohol, 0 carbs, and 0 calories. Kalea brings aloha in every bubble.
All right, we're back from a quick shishi break. Mahalo to our drink sponsor, Kolea Sparkling Hop Water, for providing the best quality shishi. Sorry, shishi. I was thinking of how sparkly my shishi was because of this. I don't know if that's a real thing, so don't listen to anything I'm saying. All right, let's get into the social media fan questions. First one comes from Dennis030305. This person says, "Are you working on a new album? If so, when will it be out?"
Oh, I am back in the studio now with my husband, and we are working on some new stuff, actually. My husband has a background in, songwriting, and he's very musical as well. So we thought, it'd be a good idea to kind of combine our forces and, start writing some original music. So that is in the works. I don't know when it's going to be out, but we will let you know.
Okay, stay tuned.
Yes.
Okay, next question comes from 808 Noriko. This person says, how long have you lived in Vegas and how do you like living in Vegas? Pros and cons. Well, you already said how long you were living
Yes.
here and all that other stuff. So what are some pros and cons of Vegas?
Pros and cons. Pros, as I said earlier, you know, like everyone comes to you. Like so many people come to visit, so that's always nice, seeing family and friends. There's so many amazing restaurants here in Las Vegas. You'll never hit every single one, so there's always a new one for you to try, like every night if you wanted to. What else? Oh, the nightlife is amazing. There's so many shows and concerts that come here to Las Vegas. And I'm a night owl, so it's like the perfect fit for me. So my husband's a night owl too. So we're basically vampires.
That's why they stay so young.
Yeah, exactly. The cons. The cons of living in Las Vegas. What would that be?
I guess there's not that many if you can't really think of any.
The no ocean.
You brought it up. Ben held it
That's
up on
right.
the
That's
side
right.
of
I
the-
do miss.
Okay, so-
That's the only thing about Vegas is that you are living in the desert and there's no ocean. I do miss living by the ocean. My husband, being from England as well, he's also on an island, so we do both miss that. So whenever we get the chance, we either try to go to Hawaii as much as possible, or England, or California is like our closest one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, cool. Right on. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
David Dausejo says, what were some songs you wanted to do on Idol but couldn't get cleared?
Oh, interesting. Okay. So on American Idol during my season, I think because it was still a fairly new show at the time, I think they didn't have a lot of clearance or licensing for certain songs. And so I remember I wanted to sing I Will Always Love You. And that was actually my audition song. And that's also one of the reasons why they didn't air my audition, because they didn't get the clearance and licensing for that. And I remember for my top 3, I wanted to sing that song. I wanted to bring that song back, during the live shows in my top 3 performance. But they couldn't get the clearance for that one for some reason.
So that's why you didn't win, because they didn't let you sing that. Freaking American Idol. They're like, she's going to win. We can't have the first person from Hawaii to win, because 20 years later, we won't have this Iam Tongi story.
Exactly.
So Iam got to thank you.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
You walked so he could run.
Yeah, right.
Okay, cool. Nani Tato says, what do your retirement dreams look like?
Retirement dreams. It's funny. I was talking to my husband about this not long ago. But if you love what you do, why would you retire from that? So, we love what we do, and we are very grateful to be able to make a living with what we do. And I don't know if I would ever retire from it. I want to just kind of keep going as long as I possibly can. And I guess if you want to call it retirement, or if you want to slow down, I would probably maybe be in Hawaii and just chilling on the beach and just, enjoying family time and, enjoying being with my husband. And yeah, I guess, if that's like, I guess as close as retirement.
Yeah, I think about stuff like that too. More so, I'm not like anywhere near retirement or thinking of that, but I think about vacation, how people always go on vacation.
Right.
And I think like I'm never really craving a vacation, because I think I've created a life where I don't need a vacation from.
Right.
Which I'm very blessed, where
Right.
people they're working hard hours 9 to 5, and they're just saving up vacation days, and then they spend it all on like a week, 2-week vacation.
Absolutely.
Luckily, I get to do both. I can vacation and work, and kind of mix it all, like what we're doing now. And when I was in the Peace Corps, and I was finishing up, my parents and my family would always try to convince me to be a flight attendant, because we had family that were flight attendants, and they're like, but you can travel the world and do all of that. And I got some really good advice from someone. I forget who it was, but he's like, why travel for work when your work can take you traveling? And like
Absolutely.
just doing this right now, coming on this trip, it made me think about that. Where it's
Totally.
just like you can, create this certain lifestyle where it can take you places where you feel like you're on vacation or you feel like
Exactly.
you're living a mini retirement. And in this book, I don't know if you ever heard of the 4 Hour Work Week by
No.
Tim Ferriss.
Okay.
He talks about like mini retirements
Ah,
throughout life. Yeah.
interesting.
So
I totally
yeah.
agree with that. And honestly, I think it's a totally different business model that we're
Mm-hmm.
looking at today. As I was saying earlier, like the landscape of the world we're living in with social media, everyone can kind of create their own destiny and create their own work life balance, I
Mm-hmm.
guess you could call it. But the model of you have to, you know, work 40 hours a week for a business, I feel like you can be your own
Mm-hmm.
boss nowadays
Mm-hmm.
easily.
Yeah.
You totally can do that. And I think there's a shift happening where everyone is starting to maybe think more entrepreneurial like that
Mm-hmm.
because of social media. And yeah, that's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
an old way of thinking now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, same thing with my family. My family wanted me to be a nurse
Of
or,
course. That's
the
the most
medical field.
Filipino thing you've ever said.
Yeah, but it's true. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. You know what I mean? But yeah, my whole family is
Yeah.
nurses, doctors, all that whole thing. But yeah, I don't I I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And still to this day, sometimes when my mom's like, are you you can still be a nurse. And I'm like, no, mom, that's
You
never gonna
you can
happen.
nurse Ben when Liverpool loses.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
If they ever lose, because they're so good.
Yeah,
But yeah.
we're gonna win this season. Yes, but yeah, and also to your point about traveling, when you are your own boss, you could, your work can take you places. You could make that part of your job. And how cool is that? Every time we travel somewhere, it's always work and play, and we never feel like we're working. Like that. That is so cool that you can do that these
Yeah.
days. So
Yeah. And the best thing is, as a business owner, you can write it off.
exactly,
This is a business trip.
exactly.
After this will be a business meal.
Right,
You know?
totally. And with traveling and everything, I think that is so important just for anyone to do. It just totally broadens your horizons and it just opens your eyes to so many things. Like I don't like to spend my money on stuff. I'd rather spend it on travel and
Experiences.
experience. Like that just makes your life more fulfilling and it just makes it more. It just adds so much to your life,
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Great answer.
Cool.
Okay. Next question comes from Mr. Kelsey. This person says, did you take vocal lessons from Neva Rego?
Yeah.
If so, how was she? And can you share any experiences? Oh, sorry, exercises.
Yeah. So, Neva, she's not with us anymore.
Oh, okay.
She was my favorite vocal coach. And I actually didn't meet with her until after American Idol, actually. That's when I had to kind of learn how to take care of my voice because I was just overworked and I needed help to get my voice back on track. I was super hoarse and I actually developed some polyps on my vocal
Oh.
cords, which is not good
I've
because
heard of somebody having that.
yeah, because if they get to a point where you need to have them removed, sometimes your voice will never be the same. So thankfully, she was able to help me work through that, and I was able to kind of sing correctly. I guess I wasn't singing correctly. I didn't have good technique, so she really taught me how to sing. Really, like I sang, but from a very raw place. But I also had to be mindful of how I was lining up my vocal cords and technique and all that. So the style of singing that she teaches is called the bel canto technique. So she trained in Italy, and so she taught me the bel canto technique. It's basically like scales, and there's a whole. I'm sure you could like Google it, but there's like a whole. A series of scales that she teaches. But yeah, she was amazing. I miss her so much. She was one of my mentors for sure. And I think about her every time I sing. So it's just, yeah,
Cool.
I have beautiful memories with her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
I just realized I was laughing in my head because when I was like, "Oh, I had a friend I think that had the polyps," and no, I was just thinking of Pitch Perfect 2, where the girl also had polyps and then she couldn't sing sing or something.
Yes,
That's what I was
that's
thinking
what.
of. It wasn't a friend I knew. It was a movie. So I was just
That's so
cracking
funny.
up
I
inside of my
love
head.
that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, my friend.
Yeah,
My friend
your
from Big
friend.
Perfect. Okay, next question comes from Bryson Cahill. This person says, if singing wasn't your career, what would you see yourself doing?
Hmm. Well, if honestly, if American Idol didn't happen, I probably would have become a nurse. but but um but if it wasn't for singing though, there's a lot of interests that I've kind of taken on, I suppose. I love to cook.
Hmm.
I love to bake. Um I love to do like arts and craftsy
Mhm.
stuff. um and kind of get into like, entrepreneurial stuff, I
Uh-huh.
guess. Like that kind
Have
of
your own
interests me. Yeah, have your
business,
own business
sell
and
stuff at the market.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So, yeah, maybe that. I don't know. It's really hard to say because my life would have totally
Yeah.
it was almost like a fork in the road, you know.
Mhm.
But looking back on it now, like if it's not for singing, then I'm sure I probably would have found something in cooking or baking or some
Mhm.
kind of entrepreneurial thing.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, next question comes from Avadada. This person says, who does she think is the greatest woman singer, past or present?
Oh gosh, my idol is Whitney Houston,
Mhm.
hands down, have to say. That's why I wanted to, sing that "I Will Always Love You" song on Idol. But yeah, for sure, she's probably one of the greatest voices of our time, in my opinion. I mean, there are others, of course.
Mhm.
Another big influence on me was Aretha Franklin, Mariah
Yeah.
Carey, Christina Aguilera growing up. But yeah, I would say
Okay,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I had a feeling that would be the answer.
Uh-huh.
Okay, last question comes from KKF underscore music and underscore more. Kamaka Fernandez, our past podcast guest.
Oh, okay,
He
cool.
says, proud of you. And how has it been living in Vegas? You've pretty much already said how it was in Vegas, but I just wanted to make sure you knew that he's proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Mahalo, everybody, for the social media fan questions. Make sure you leave some for our next guest, and maybe your question will make it on the podcast. I like to ask all of my guests the same question at this point on the podcast about keeping it aloha. It's
Okay.
the name of the podcast, and it's something that I try to do every day in my life. So, in your life, how do you keep it aloha?
Keep it aloha. I think aloha at its very core means love. It's love and compassion for one another. It's giving without expecting anything in return. It's wearing your heart on your sleeve. And I think, as much as possible, I like to just do that. I want to be honest and authentic and, be kind to people. And I think people from Hawaii, we have this unspoken understanding of that aloha. And I
Mhm.
think we understand that deep connection that we share. And I think that that's what makes Hawaii so special and so magical. Traveling outside of Hawaii, I didn't realize how magical and special of a place it was until I left.
Same.
And you don't really see that on the mainland, really, that aloha.
Mhm.
When you're in Hawaii, and when you're with people from Hawaii, we share this deep connection that is aloha, and it's such a beautiful thing, and that's what makes me so proud to be from there, and it's such a big part of who I am. And so I try to, spread the aloha spirit wherever I go and try to represent Hawaii, try to represent, being Filipino,
Mhm.
representing the Asian community wherever I go. So yeah, I guess that's how I would
That's
keep it
awesome.
aloha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing that. Since we're on the road, has there been any other cultures that you've seen, that has that aloha spirit? Because the aloha spirit is unique to Hawaii,
Yeah.
but in other places they just call it something else.
Right.
Whether that's Southern hospitality or kindness, or something like that. Have you been to other places where you're like, wow, this place really reminds me of Hawaii? these people are very similar to our people back home?
I would have to say the Philippines comes
that's
to
us.
close second. Yeah. They're so hospitable, and they just want to take care of you and feed you constantly. And yeah, the same kind of thing. The people there are so honest and kind, and just always want to like care for you. So I would say the Philippines, and also Southern hospitality as well. Being on tour, we got to travel to the South, and so that was a really fun and cool experience too. But yeah, just traveling in general, you just get to open your eyes to see like how other people live and how other people are, and I think it just I feel like when more people travel, it brings the world together, and I think it also creates a world where everyone is more compassionate towards one another and accepting,
I agree. I always said that the more I see of the world, the smaller it gets.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because then there's like, what was it, the 6 degrees of separation,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's less than that.
It's less than that in Hawaii for sure.
Yep.
Might be even, less than 6 over here.
For sure.
And then the more you go out in the world and you just like meet people, like you can be in the most randomest place and just happen to stumble upon somebody that knows your cousin or like seen you maybe on TV once, and you're just like in some place you just never thought.
Exactly.
It's
so crazy.
how it works.
It is so crazy. I remember I was traveling with my husband to Italy. We were in, I think it was Rome, and we were at this pizza place, and there was a Filipino guy there, and he saw me, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I'm in Italy, and then you're here, and like we just started a conversation. But as you say, like you just meet so many cool people you didn't expect to meet, and just, people from all different walks of life. And it is an amazing thing to be able to do that. And it just opens your eyes to everything, it's amazing. And I highly recommend it to everybody. Just
totally do
get out there, travel to a different country. Oh, and Liverpool, of course, too, where my husband's from.
Yeah, I haven't spent time in England. I've only been there for a layover.
Oh, okay.
But funny story. So I studied abroad in 2014. And I had to travel from Hawaii, I think, to New York.
Okay.
New York to England, maybe England to Spain, something like that.
Wow.
So when I was traveling, I sat next to this guy, David Fell.
Oh,
is his
okay.
name, and he's a guy from England, and we were talking football, soccer at the time.
Of course.
So we exchanged emails, and for years since then, we've been exchanging emails to each other. He would like send me pictures of like soccer matches, his him and his wife, his grandkids, even up until like, this couple years ago, where his, wife gets sick, wife passed away. He's doing like these older walking football leagues.
Oh my gosh.
And like he just keeps updating. He finally joined Instagram like 2 years ago, and we've been friends on Facebook.
That's
but
amazing.
I've had this like email pen pal.
Yeah.
So even when I went to study abroad, I joined the Peace Corps in Madagascar. I would send every couple months just like emails back and forth with this guy from England.
That is amazing. I should also add to the list of places, Liverpool in England, as one of the places that kind of has that like aloha spirit too, in that sense.
Yeah.
They're very friendly, like as you say, like they just love to, they're so interested in you, and they want to just talk to you about your life. And so I remember when I went to travel to Liverpool for the first time, it was so interesting to me because they feel like, Hawaii is like part of the US, right? But I honestly feel like it's a totally different thing. It's like, I feel like for me, it's like Hawaii pride first. Then,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think with Liverpool, it's the same way. They feel separated from the rest of England in that sense. They have their own accent. Like we have Pidgin, they have Scouse.
Yeah.
So it's a similar kind of thing, and it's a different type of culture as well. And same kind of thing though. There's like this connection of like, with the working class people, and they are just, connected in that way, and they just show so much love, and like they just show interest in you. They genuinely want to know all about you and how you're doing and all that stuff. So it just, when you mentioned that story, it just reminded me. So
I would love to go and maybe meet with David one day again.
Yes.
But my little brother studied abroad in England for
really?
half a year last year, and he loved it.
What part of England did he go to?
I think he was just like in
London?
London,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Yeah.
London, and he actually started dating a girl from there.
Oh,
so she has a girlfriend in
nice.
London. I think she's from Dublin, maybe.
Oh,
but she
so
lives,
Ireland.
No, but she lives there.
Oh, she lives in Dublin.
Yeah, because
I see.
I remember he always says she has like an Irish accent.
Okay, so she's from
I
Ireland.
think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when you mentioned like the long distance, whatever, so I thought about my brother and
Oh,
her.
so is he in Hawaii then?
Because he's on Oahu. So
Oh my
the
God,
time.
that's
But she's
12 hours.
coming to visit in April.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we'll
is
get
it
to
going to be
meet.
your first time in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
she's
our
gonna
first
love
time
it.
meeting her. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe the movie to Vegas. That's what I mean. Our grandma lives over here, so
Oh,
maybe he'll
really?
come up. He was just here for his birthday. Sorry, not birthday. He graduated UH in December, so
Oh,
for
nice.
graduation present, he came up here
Oh,
and he went to
nice.
the Jabberwocky shows with my grandma,
Oh,
and they did stuff. So
nice. Oh, so you have
yeah.
some family here
Yeah.
then?
She lives, I don't know where, but she's
Okay.
probably at a casino right now
Yeah,
playing Keno.
gambling.
Yeah,
Keno.
She called me earlier today. I'm like, it's kind of a business trip. I don't know if we'll have time, but
Right,
we'll come
right.
back again and we'll see her.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at the back end of the podcast, and before we just get into our final questions, I want to do a quick segment called Happiest Life Moments, presented by Kolea Sparkling Hop Water. Okay, because you seem like a very happy person, and I want to know what is like one of your top happiest moments you've ever had living here in Vegas.
A happiest moment I ever had living in Vegas. Oh gosh, that's a tough one because there's so many. I would have to say meeting my husband, of course, and having a residency here, like really
Huge, yeah.
like performing here in Vegas for like 6-7 shows a week. It was definitely brutal at first, but that's where I really learned how to sing and perform and connect with audiences for the first time, really, and really get to discover myself as a singer and a performer. So I definitely have happy times. Performing here in Vegas, and also just kind of, going around the city and discovering new restaurants as well with my husband. I feel like, yeah.
Okay, cool. And what is one of your happiest American Idol memory?
Oh gosh, my happiest American Idol memory. It would probably be when I sang, I think I made it to the top 12, and I sang Inseparable for the first time. And I think during my time on Idol, they didn't, they didn't show my audition. So a lot of people before the live shows, they didn't know that there was like a Hawaii girl on American Idol until I actually made it to the top 12. And so I remember it was like a big deal for me to like really get the song right and perform it right. And I remember getting on stage, and honestly, it was like an out-of-body experience. I was rehearsing the song so much that when I went on stage, I was like, I'm just gonna let it go and have fun. How amazing is this? Like, this is so cool that I actually made it to the live TV stage. And so I sang Inseparable. And that song still stays with me to this day. Like, I perform that everywhere I go. But I remember singing that song, and it just felt like I was flying. Like, you know how everything just kind of clicks together, and it just felt like magical. It just felt right. I wasn't in my head thinking about the notes. I was like just super high on this on the stage performing. It was a beautiful moment, and I always try to remember that every time I perform, because it just puts me in like such a good happy place. And obviously that, and my homecoming to Hawaii. That was really special. Those are the two where I felt like the Inseparable performance was like, I felt like I made it. And I didn't care what happened at that point. I was like, I already won. Like every week after this is a bonus. I was just so happy and grateful to be there. And then to have made it to the top 3, and then go back home to Hawaii to feel all that love. I still get goosebumps and
Yeah.
emotional thinking about it, but that I would say those are my top two like happiest moments ever.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Sounds like you were in that flow state, like you were in the zone when Kobe, you know, it's the rim looks a little bit bigger when he's playing. You know,
Right.
it's like you weren't worried about trying to hit the notes. You were just doing it. It was like breathing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
you are an athlete in a way.
I guess
You got that flow state.
I try to find that flow
Yeah.
state. It's tough, but yeah, I try.
Okay, awesome. Okay, and what is one of your happiest childhood memories?
Happiest childhood memories. I would say when we were young, my dad would rent out this like beach cabin out in the North Shore with a bunch of his work friends and his work friends and their kids and stuff. So every summer we would go out there for like a week and like camp out. Like even though there was like a house there, we'd like set up a tent and we'd go fishing and like we would actually cook the fish we were fishing.
that's
Like
so cool.
it was so cool. Like it was such a vivid childhood memory. And then we also went surfing a lot. My dad taught us how to surf, so I remember that. Just being outdoors, being out in nature. I remember that, and that makes me happy.
That sounds awesome to me.
Yeah.
Okay, and last one. On a scale from 1 to 10, how happy would you say you are?
I'm pretty happy now. But I gotta be honest. I have good days. I have bad days. Today I would say I'm a 10. I'm pretty happy. I would say overall I try to be positive and happy. But sometimes, just like everyone else, I have days where I don't feel that great or I'm not in a great mood or I'm stressed out or whatever. But overall, I think it's a mindset, right? Happiness is kind of like a mental game. They say happiness is the quality of your thoughts. And it's something that I try to work towards every day to choose happiness no matter what. Because life's too short, you just gotta try to, kind of overcome any negative thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's okay to have them. It's just,
for
it's part
sure.
of life.
Absolutely.
Like when we talk about being, happy or how great your life is, like it's not always a 10.
No.
Because like I'm a super happy person and I love my life, but I'm, dealing with injuries, recovering from surgery. So like at this moment, I know I'm not at my happiest.
Sure.
But it's seasonal. So once I
Totally.
get to that goal where, I'm feeling good, work's going great, then I'll, be at that level. And it's just all about trying to maintain that. But knowing that even if it goes down, you can get back to that.
Absolutely.
That peak. Yeah.
That's totally
That's how
true.
I look at it.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
here. And I think also I try to start each day with gratitude too, because that kind of helps, where just being grateful, just like positive emotions run through you when you're kind of in that state. And that kind of also helps you through whenever you're going through things. So yeah, I just always try to be as positive as possible. But as you say, sometimes it's seasonal. Sometimes you have your ups and your downs. But, at the end of the day, as long as you try to find that up again, then, it's all good.
Yeah, so you might not always be happy, but you can always be happy with Kolea sparkling hot water, not an ad.
I love that.
All right, so what does the next 5, 10, 20 years look like for you?
Oh,
I know
gosh.
you got new music coming out,
Yes.
but
Yes. Well, I'm really excited. I feel like I'm in a really good place right now where, I've had time to really assess everything that's happened in my life up to this point. And I feel like I'm in the next chapter of my life and I feel like I'm just getting started. I want to record, new music. We're in the studio right now. We have some stuff recorded. And we've also gathered a lot of content that we're in the process of editing right now because we want to also launch like a YouTube channel
fun.
so people can watch out for that. So it's really exciting right now. Like we're in the trenches with that. You know how that goes with
like a
editing and
Twitch
stuff.
thing. You should just watch Liverpool games
Oh
together.
yeah,
That'd be
hey, that's a good idea.
Sounds easier than what
I know, right? I don't know if that actually, on second thought, I don't know if that would be a good idea because there's a lot of swearing going on during Liverpool matches.
That's how I go. That's what people like.
Right.
That raw authenticity.
That's true. That's
The
true.
passion.
And then, working on some Hawaii shows as well. I want to get back to
Awesome.
Hawaii and perform for the people there. It's been a while since I've been back, so definitely working on some shows there. I've been focusing on like performing for so long that now in this day and age, I kind of want to get stuff like online and like
Smart.
on YouTube and all that
you
stuff.
gotta,
It's like
you gotta.
we're shifting there now. So that's basically what we're focusing on now, and I guess we'll see where that takes us.
Well, best of luck. I'm excited to follow along and see what happens.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what is one thing you wish people knew about you that they don't?
Okay. Well, I do have a passion for cooking and baking. Like I took that up during the pandemic. I took up Thomas Keller's masterclass. He's like a Michelin star chef. So like I learned how to cook and bake. I really do have a passion for that. And I feel like that's like my love language. Like I love to just like cook and bake stuff for people, have people over. And I really like arts and craftsy stuff. I love making personalized gifts. Like
Nice.
that is something I love to do. Like I don't like to just buy a gift at the store. Like I feel like that's just like, I mean, it's fine, cool. But I want to like find a way. I love getting creative and like finding a way. How can I personalize this to this person that shows like you gave it a lot of thought,
Totally,
And I also learned how to sew during the pandemic. So I was like
okay.
making masks for people. And I started making like personalized stuff too. Like I have a Cricut. So that's a great way to like personalize stuff. So like cooking, baking, like artsy, craftsy stuff. And I became a crazy plant lady too.
Just add it all in there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, I
That's
guess
cool
those
though.
are like
Yeah.
three
Yeah,
things.
and it makes a lot of sense why Ben's pants is bedazzled right now. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, right on. All right, so before we end the podcast and I get into my last fast fave 5 questions, those are just rapid fire answers. I gotta know, what is your life hack?
Oh, my life hack. Okay, this is gonna sound cheesy, so forgive me if it does. But just based on everything that we've been talking about, I would have to say my life hack is to just smile. Like, when you smile, I feel like there's like good chemicals just running through your body, When like, I know it sounds so silly, but just try it. Like if you're down and have a bad day and you're in a bad mood, just try to smile because it's almost like you're tricking your brain.
I've seen the science, like
there is science behind
not meme, a reel about that or like an article about that.
Honestly, I think there is
Or like
something
fake
to
laughing.
it.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
something
just
like
to
that.
kind of it tricks your brain because your body's sending these positive, happy signals, and then your brain's like, "Hold on, I'm not supposed to be sad. I'm supposed to be happy."
Yeah.
So it kind of like totally changes your state and it changes your mood. And so if I'm going through something, it feels so silly to do it when you're in that state, but when you just try to smile, it really does work.
Yeah.
It really does.
That's a good one. So try that, people. Let us know how it goes. Right on. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, so these are my last fast fave 5 questions. These are rapid fire answers, okay? Favorite thing to do in Vegas?
Eat.
Nice. Which we're going to do soon.
Yes.
Favorite way to recharge?
Sleep.
Nice. Favorite TV show or movie?
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Oh, nice. Did you end up watching House of Dragons too?
Yep.
Yeah.
I watched all of that.
Yeah. It's one of the greatest series ever besides the last season.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and Breaking Bad 2 was a good
Again, one of the greatest.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Okay. Favorite karaoke song?
Oh. Is it weird to say I Will Always Love You? That is so cheesy.
That's your favorite? Your favorite?
Well, actually, I've sang a few, but okay, I would say that's my favorite. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go with that one.
Okay. So,
Or Mariah Carey. Oh no, I like Always Be My Baby.
oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's a good one. Okay. And last one. favorite thing about the birthday boy?
Oh, favorite thing. That's a hard one because there are so many. Honestly, he just makes me laugh. Like he should be a comedian. And that he loves me for me no matter what. And he loves me unconditionally. And that's a beautiful thing. And that's why I love him so much.
Oh. We love it. We love it. All right. Well, that's all we have for you today. Mahalo so much for stopping by our hotel room here at the Fontainebleau and
Thank you.
talking stories. And it's nice getting to know you and, indirectly getting to know Ben as well while he's here. And I'm excited to go eat some food after this.
Yes.
So we'll talk stories a little bit more.
Thank
but
you
is there
so
anything
much.
you want to share before we wrap up? If not, tell us where we can find you.
Oh, you guys can find me on my socials at Jasmine Trias. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. Was it X now?
Yeah. I still say Twitter.
And yeah, all my socials is at Jasmine Trias. Is there anything I missed out, honey? He helps me a lot with my socials.
Yeah.
So, okay.
We're good. We're good. All right.
We're good.
We'll just follow along. And we're super excited to see the next couple of years of, your singing career or whatever you do. Maybe you start selling arts and crafts.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, mahalo, Jasmine, for joining us on the Keep It Aloha podcast. Spread love, be kind to one another, and mahalo for listening to us today. We have new episodes every Thursday, so make sure you follow us and leave a review. I'm your host, Kamaka, and remember to always keep it aloha.